Hi there. This first tutorial is going to be how to do a Dutch braid. A Dutch braid is very similar to the French braid. The only difference is it sits on top. To start off with, you're going to take a section. You are then going to split that section into 3 strands. Once you have your 3 strands, you need to identify your middle strand. You will then take the strand closest to your face, cross under that middle strand. That will become your new middle strand. Take the section closest to the back of the head, cross under the middle strand. That is going to be your new middle strand. You are then going to gather hair closest to your face. You are going to add that hair to the section closest to your face. You are then going to cross that section under the middle strand. That is going to be your new middle strand. You are then going to gather hair from the back side, and you are going to add that hair to the back strand. You are then going to cross that back strand under the middle strand, and that will become your new middle strand. You are then going to gather hair from the front of your face again and add it to the strand closest to the front of your face. Identify your middle strand. Cross that section under the middle strand. That is now going to be your new middle strand. Gather hair from the back side again. Add it to the strand closest to the back side. Identify your middle strand. Cross under and make that your new middle strand. Gather hair again, closest to your face. Add it to the strand closest to your face. Identify your middle strand. Cross that front section under the middle strand. This is now your new middle strand. Gather hair from the back side. Add it to the back strand. Identify your middle strand. Cross the back side under the middle strand. Gather hair from the front side again. Add it to the strand at the front side. Identify middle strand. Cross under, making a new middle strand. Once you have no more hair, you will finish off your braid. You will then have a Dutch braid. Dutch braids sit on top. You can pancake Dutch braids to make them fuller and thicker. The next tutorial is a French braid, classic French braid. You start off exactly the same. A section split into 3 strands. The only difference here is you take a section from the back, cross it over the front, making a new middle strand. Take the other strand, cross it over the middle strand, making a new middle strand. You will then gather hair from the back side. Add it to that strand closest to the back side. You are then going to cross over that middle strand, making a new middle strand. You will then gather hair from the front side of your face. Add it to the strand at the front side. Then cross it over the middle strand, making a new middle strand. Gather hair from the back side. Add it to the hair in the back side. Identify your middle strand. Cross over, making a new middle strand. This braid is the exact same steps as the Dutch braid. The only difference is you are crossing over that middle strand instead of under the middle strand. Gather hair, Add it to the section that's closest. Identify your middle strand and cross over. When doing a Dutch or French braid, the easiest thing to do is to just identify your middle strand and say, okay, I'm going over a middle strand, making a new middle strand. If you're doing a Dutch braid, okay, identify my middle strand, go under it. That's the only difference here in these braids. It will take your mind a moment to adjust when you're doing these braids. Your fingers want to do one or the other, and you will get confused. But all you have to do is identify that middle strand and tell yourself to go over or to go under. With each pass, just identify your middle strand and then say, I'm going over. Once you have no more hair to add, you just finish off the braid. This next tutorial is for a regular fish braid. You are going to split your hair into 2 sections. Once you have your 2 sections, you are then going to take hair from the outside of one strand, just a small section, cross it over to the center, and add it to the other strand. You are then going to take a little bit from the outside of the other strand, cross it over into the center, and add it to the other strand. Repeat. Take a little bit from the outside strand, cross it over to the center, and add it to your other strand. Keep it tight. Take hair from the outside of the strand, cross it over into the center, and gather it to the other strand. Take a little bit of hair from the outside of the strand, cross over to the center, add it to the other strand. Repeat this over and over again. Take just a little bit of hair from the outside, cross over into the center, add it to the other strand. Depending on how you want your fishtail braid to look, you can take more hair from the outside of the strand or less hair. It is a personal preference. I personally like to take about 1/4 of the hair from the strand and add it to the other one. You can take half. You can take 1/8. It is just a personal preference. This is a very, very simple braid. Take a little bit of hair from the outside of the strand, cross it over to the other strand. This braid does take a little bit longer than the French and Dutch braid. A little bit of hair from the outside of the strand, crossed over to the center and added to the other strand. Once you are done, you can leave the braid as is, or you can loosen it to give it more of a full look. This last tutorial is how to do a French fishtail braid. Very similar to the fishtail, except you'll be adding hair. You're going to start out with a section and split it into two as you did with the fishtail braid. Once you have your two sections, you're going to take a little bit of hair from the outside part of one strand. You are then going to cross it over into the middle, add it to the other strand. The only difference here is you're now going to add hair to the strand you just took away from. Once you have hair added, you will then take a little bit of hair from the outside of the other strand, cross it over into the center, and add it to the other strand. You will then add hair to replace the hair you took from that strand. Then take a little bit of hair from that other strand, cross it over, add it, and then replace the hair that you just took. Then take a little bit of hair from the outside, cross over, add it to the other strand, and replace the hair that you just took. Take a little bit of hair from the outside, cross it over, and replace the hair that you just took. Notice that I am keeping my braid tight. You want to make sure that you're keeping your braid tight as you go along. Replace the hair you just took. Take a little bit of hair from the outside, cross it over, and replace the hair you just took. Take a little bit from the outside, cross it over, and replace the hair you just took. Once you have no more hair to add, finish off the fishtail just the same as you did the previous braid. The only difference, once you're out of hair, you have no more hair to add. So you just continue to take a little bit of hair from the outside of a section, cross it over, and add it to the other one.